Sportsfeld. It is Sportsfeld.
It is.
It is Sportsfeld.
It is Sportsfeld.
It is Sportsfeld.
It is Sportsfeld?
This is it. This is Sportsfeld.
This is it. This is, as they say, Sportsfeld.
Psychedelic start to the show.
Great. We're doing great.
Like a 70s experimental album. What are we really saying? No, it is Sportsfeld, and we are off and running in October.
Yeah, there's things to talk about. Games have begun.
Game footage. Thank God for game footage. Holy cow, it makes all the difference.
Yeah. And like not counting like the Blue Jays, which, as we all know, doesn't count.
That stops being game footage like mid-July.
May?
Yeah. No, there was plenty of stuff. Maple Leafs played 4 games in the first week of the season already.
That seems like a lot. Like, I enjoyed it, but it does seem like a lot for one first week.
Yeah, and there was a little bit of everything. They had dominant wins. They had crushing collapse. Which is
I am ready to both cancel the parade and excited for another season of thinking Trevor Moore is Tyler Bozak every single time he touches the puck.
It takes a while, doesn't it?
Still, Bozak's been gone for a full season.
Crazy. Yeah,
42 just 42. Burned into
How did they not retire it?
Yeah, really. Made Phil Kessel good.
Speaking of game footage, the Raptors played a game.
They did. In Japan.
Against the Rockets.
Did you wake up to watch it?
No, but
NBA TV does have replays, which is
one of those things where I spend enough time around people who watch all these things and talk to them enough that
absolutely,
like, I'm more informed than I would have been if I had watched it live and not talked to anybody.
I had that thing of like waking up, checking Twitter and being like, oh yeah.
Smart people are talking.
Reading Blake's article on it. I was like, all right.
That's enough.
Yeah. I know what happened now.
And then you watch the highlights and you can say, yeah, it matches up to what I heard.
Yeah. And now we have the in-depth lineup battles because someone who, follows that thing told me.
And we're going to steal those talking points and debate them in a few minutes.
We sure are. Without the presence of Blake.
Absolutely correct. Nor the intelligence of the people who came up with the original thoughts.
Absolutely not.
More importantly,
uninformed analysis is what we do.
People are here. That and to look at what beers we're drinking.
Yeah.
Now, Jake, this is not part of the ad read.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you an honest question.
Okay.
There's a there's a bar near your house.
Yes.
That we go to semi-regularly.
Yes.
We both went there independent of each other and met there 2 weeks ago.
Accidentally, yes.
When we are at this bar, which has a wall of rotating beers.
Yes.
What's the first thing we always do when we're not sure?
Blood Brothers.
Blood Brothers.
Because it's the best.
Because it has yet to be anything but an excellent.
This is like, also not the ad read, sort of like the culmination of when we restarted Sportsfeld. This is pretty close to, I was like, if we can do this, then we can get 4 free beers from Blood Brothers. Then it's all worth it.
The brewery of the month.
Imagine it's not Blood Brothers. It's just like the brewery of the month is Collective Arts.
Hey, I like Collective Arts a lot.
I do too. But
I mean, and this is not to dissuade any other beer.
No, please. But
now I'm thinking back, did we overdo it? Did we overdo the?
We're allowed to have our favorites. Doesn't mean the others aren't good.
It's up to this point.
Yeah.
And I must say,
prove us wrong.
Our brewery of the month is Blood Brothers Brewing. Yes.
A fabulous local Toronto brewery.
Throughout all of October, we're drinking Blood Brothers Brews. It's at 165 Geary Avenue, 7 days a week.
The revitalized Geary Avenue.
Noon to 11. Street. Have you been to?
I have. It kicks ass.
Awesome.
It's a great. There's like that street. Not even 10 years ago was like nothing, and now it has great restaurants, great bars. There's Blood Brothers.
Man,
it's really cool. I love Geary.
You can also have them delivered to your home.
Yeah, I'm amazed I haven't done that.
If you play like that, it's bloodbrothersbrewing.com. Today, we are about to open and drink. It's called Under a House in Northern Italy. It's a amaretto coffee stout.
I love that.
7%.
I'm so excited. It's like, I know everyone gets sad that like summer's over, and I do too. I get that. But boy, am I excited. It's like dark, thick beer season again. Nothing this. Just give me all the porters. It's a
Digestivo inspired stout. Oh, we're sharing this.
We're sharing this one because it's
huge. Yeah,
it's 500 milliliters. I feel like if you went to work after an entire one of these, you'd have a good day.
Looks like a coffee.
Also, I love that our corporate overlords are trusting us to pour beer and drink beer in cups around all this fancy equipment. I feel like that's a bad call, but we'll see what happens.
It certainly looks like a coffee.
It does look like. Ooh. Let's give it a little smell.
I'll leave that with you.
Oh, because I can drink the whole thing.
No, just to have in front of you because I've had it in front of me. It
smells nice.
It's brewed with coffee from Propeller Coffee Company with sweet almonds. You can expect a full-bodied coffee-forward stout with a sweet, nutty finish. Cheers to that.
Cheers. Oh, that kicks ass. That's really good.
It's crazy to have just drank coffee and then drank that.
Yeah, what's that like? Not that different, huh?
It feels like it is cold now.
It sort of does feel like a nice coffee.
That's real nice. And the finish is different than the mouthfeel.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Anyway, so there you go. Under a House in Northern Italy from Blood Brothers Brewing.
Yeah, I back that.
That's what we'll be sipping on.
That's a nice little sipping beer too.
That's a sipper.
That's a sipper.
That is a winter beer.
That's good. That's good for the show. It won't make me drink quickly a beer that's 6.5% like a couple weeks ago.
And we all know what happened in the back half of that episode.
I'm trying to forget.
The proverbial wheels. Anyway, speaking of the wheels, they are in motion.
They are.
For the Toronto Maple Leafs.
It's begun.
The 2-1-2 Toronto Maple Leafs, may I add.
2-1-2.
Yes.
Played 5 games? 4 games.
2-1-1, pardon me.
2-1-1.
The second two. I knew they had 2 games where they won, 2 games where they lost, but it's 2-1-1. You're right. We have wins.
First 2 are definitely better than the second 2.
Yes, although I enjoyed the way they played against St. Louis.
That was a fun game.
Where do we start on this?
Might as well start from the beginning, I suppose.
Start from the beginning. Did we talk about the captaincy last week? We both sort of arrived at the fact that it's going to be Tavares, and we agreed with that.
We didn't know officially, but we did, say that we thought it was going to be Tavares.
And it was.
Yeah.
John Tavares.
I think it's the right choice. I mean, no, I don't. I'm lying. I think it should have been Morgan Riley, but I understand why it's not.
I think Morgan Riley is the leader for the younger guys anyway.
Yeah, and I also think, as we discussed last week, who cares? Like, it's sort of interesting when, like, the minute it happened, I thought the way they did it was actually pretty cool with the video and everything, but who cares?
There you go.
Like, they could have named any of the guys who it was going to be. I can't imagine getting upset, but like, it would have been if they had been like, oh, actually it's, I don't know, Justin Hole.
Yes.
Like, that's weird.
I'm just happy to have never wavered on this, to have been right from the start.
You love being right from the start.
It's the only way I like to be right. Other stuff that has stood out. So obviously we have Austin Matthews can score.
Yeah.
That is something.
Not a surprise.
And if he stays healthy, he's going to have a great year.
He could be like, again, it's not a hot take to say that if Austin stays healthy, it's going to have a great year, but like he could have a like franchise defining year.
Yeah.
It's ridiculously good.
The power plays look excellent.
Yeah. That one power play goal they scored, I forget the second game where it was like, took 8 seconds and Austin sniped it. It was
dangerous.
Kicked ass.
Dangerous power play.
Kicked ass is what it did.
So we also have Alex Kerfoot's looked awfully good. Line 3.
Line 3 looks great. Not missing Nas as much as I expected. I mean, it's been 4 games, but.
Yes, but agreed. I think.
And Tyson Barrie, on that note.
Yes.
The additions do seem to outweigh the subtraction at this point.
Right.
Which is 4 games.
Which I think, I think we'd heard some talk from some angles that Tyson Barrie and Jake Gardner was a lateral move.
I think in certain ways it is, but I think Tyson Barrie he seems more, I don't want to say assured because I think that's the wrong word, but like I'm going to say assured. Just that like his skill with the puck without it ever being frantic is quite impressive to me.
Yes.
As someone who has never played hockey and doesn't know.
I like the Barrie Muzzin pairing.
I do too.
That's a strong pairing. What they've done is, and we'll get into this in a little bit, but what they seem to have done is they've taken the Morgan Riley and the boat anchor, with whoever that may be, Cody Ceci right now, that's gonna be the whole year. Yes, and then Barrie Muzzin. They basically both of those guys get between 22 and 25 minutes every night.
Yeah,
they try to play most of the game,
and like they should, especially if your third pairing is eventually going to be Travis Dermott and Rasmus Sandin, who we will get to. But like if those 2 young guys are your third pairing, you kind of need the other 4 to carry a bulk of load. I think you're asking those 2 guys a lot to be like, here's 24 minutes, enjoy.
Rasmus Sandin is an interesting case.
I don't know. He's a defenseman also, so it's hard to be like, from a rookie viewing perspective.
Yes.
Like him not doing anything wrong is kind of,
it's been excellent.
But it's like, that's what you're looking for, right?
Yes.
Like it's from a defense. You're not like, okay, he's going to score. It's not like with Austin when he came in, it was like, oh, he scored whatever, 4 goals on opening night. That makes sense. I can see his sort of development and how good he is. Sandin as a defenseman is kind of like, okay, I can see he's talented. And as long as he doesn't mess up, then it's kind of, then he's having a great year so far. But he has looked great.
Yes. And if Dermott comes back, healthy and that line, he's going to come back. But if he comes back healthy and at 100% and that turns into a solid back end pairing, you are then able to. This is already happening with Sandin. There's the slowly bumping him up from like 9 minutes to 13. Maybe they get to 14 if Dermott's really good. That is something that was a weakness coming into the season that potentially turns into not a strength, but solid.
I also think it's the right way to bring him into the league. Like if you remember, just bring him up again. If you remember in 2013 when Jake Gardner was a rookie and there was all the noise about they weren't bringing him up and they would bring him up and they'd send him down. And then they brought him up and the expectation was he would play, 18, 19, 20 minutes and be third, fourth best defenseman on the team immediately. And I honestly have no idea if that did stall his development or ruin his development, but he definitely wasn't he never quite lived up to what he was in the AHL.
Right.
And so I'm thinking that with Sandin and playing him, these 9, 10, 13 minutes to ease him in, maybe that's a better way to get a guy, 19?
Yes.
Acclimated to the NHL.
I think our friend Justin Bourne sort of posed a similar thing where you can talk about the fact that more minutes equals more development, but that doesn't necessarily ring true. He was the man in the AHL last year. If he's playing twice as many minutes in the AHL, is that really more valuable than being a 10 to 12 minute guy in the right situations at the NHL level for a competitor?
Well, it's like
this is the Vladdy thing. Exactly.
If you're looking at I was going to say, look at baseball. It's great if you get your reps at the plate and you get 500 at bats in a year, but if in those 500 at bats you're hitting 0.98, like is that helpful?
Right.
I don't know because I'm not a professional athlete, but Sandin does look good. And I am not a Cody Ceci fan.
Here it comes.
If he's your 6th best defenseman, it's not a bad defense.
Here is the thing. I'm going to try to do my best to not overly compliment Cody Ceci.
Because
it's a trap.
Because it's a trap.
But to your point that having him as your 6 is not so bad. I think what gets lost
especially if he can be buried beside Riley.
Right. I think what gets lost is like every team has defensemen they don't like.
Yeah. There's no the Stanley Cup champions have defensemen they don't like.
Right. That's why there are bad defensemen on every team. There's almost no lineup in the world that's like it's just 6 amazing defensemen. It's not how it works.
Other than like Team Canada. And even then it was like, this fucking guy. Like
yes. Anyway, that's not all. It's not all wine and roses.
It's not.
There's some warts. Kasperi Kapanen, and really the whole top line. Kapanen, Tavares, Marner has not popped at like even strength. All the Marner stuff has been power play.
Yes. Kapanen almost had a great feed.
Yes.
Against St. Louis, but
he also had the broken stick thing, which is
but not. That was
an us move to be like, why we can't do that?
It was bizarre.
Yeah. Yes. I know that maybe he didn't think it was a penalty shot.
Yeah, I could see that. And also, but even if it's just
logically,
at that point in the game,
at least you have to think it's a
penalty.
There
is no way that you can just throw a stick at someone and be like, let it go.
Nobody thought of it before this. You're free. Yeah. Like, that's not how it works. Too bad. But he's looked
like a guy who had a fast start to his career and now is sort of the sophomore slump. I know he's not technically a sophomore, but you know what I mean? Like I think it's to be expected, which makes me not particularly worried about it.
Okay.
I get a little more worried about it. I know we're going to get to this in a second, but I get a little more worried about it if it continues into like February and he's still sort of playing those top line minutes.
The question I pose to you is Zach Hyman is coming back.
Yes.
And he's going to play with Tavares and Marner.
You think he'll play with them over Austin and Willie?
100%.
Really?
I think so. If the line's still playing like this, absolutely.
Interesting.
Or then it's Janssen. Either way.
Yeah.
Either way.
He's in the top 6.
Hyman's coming back into the top 6. And to me, that means Kapanen is moving out of the top 6.
I mean, it's A or B. It's Janssen or Kapanen, as you said. I'm not convinced it's going to be Kapanen.
Okay, so
I think it's going to be Janssen for a couple reasons. One, Hyman and Matthews have a ton of experience playing together.
Sure.
And play quite well together. And two, I feel like the team, just based on his past performance, based on how they got him, based on how long he's been in the system, I feel like they're the expectations of Kasperi Kapanen are much higher, I think, than Andreas Janssen. Even though they've been signed to similar contract extensions, even though they have similar game styles, even though they had similar careers so far. But to me, if you're talking about the Leafs top 6, objectively, I think Kapanen slots in there before Janssen.
So where does Janssen go?
The third, I guess.
So who comes off the third line? It's a
good problem to have.
It is.
Who would you take off the third line then?
I think right now I am putting Kasper Kapanen on the fourth line on the right wing.
On the fourth line?
I think you're Gauthier, Spezza, Kapanen on the right wing.
I mean, that's not you could have worse fourth lines.
And you say, listen, you're going to be put in situations where you're going to be playing against guys like Spezza and Gauthier, and it's going to be playing at that speed. You're going to be the fastest guy on the ice. This is your chance to be the man on the line.
Yeah. Also, I'm here for Freddie Gauthier scoring goals. I love it. Yeah. I wanted him to be good for feels like forever now.
So that's the question. And here's I guess the different way to put this is the focus is different now on Kapanen and on Janssen as well. As you mentioned with the contracts, they are no longer they're no longer found money. They're spent money. Correct. It's no longer like just an extra thing you get.
Yeah.
It's no longer sort of an extra.
It's like, we have these sick forwards, and by the way, here's 2 more sick forwards. Right. Just like, cuz.
Now they're being counted on.
Yeah. I think that's true.
That is the difference. We have more to talk about. We got Raptors preseason.
Yeah.
Got Pascal Siakam being the man. We got Fred VanVleet, MLB playoffs, all kinds of stuff. We're going to talk about it.
After this.
We spent the entire commercial break legitimately complimenting the beer.
Yeah, I like even as so far to where I said I really like the bottles.
Yes,
but yeah, it's as I said on break. If this wasn't carbonated, I'd just be like, oh, it's coffee. Legitimately, just
tastes like cold brew.
Yeah,
it just tastes like cold brew.
It's really good. Get it.
Under a House in northern Italy. It's an amaretto coffee stout. Yep.
Yeah, that kicks ass.
It's all those words for sure.
Oh, it's so good. All right,
Blood Brothers. This could be. As I forgot to mention off the top. If you want this to be your brewery or a brewery you like, I'll sit here and just be like, God damn, I wish I was not on the air and I was drinking this.
I'm not to take away from the quality of this beer, which is excellent.
It's excellent.
But like, you give us free beer, we're gonna compliment you.
Yes.
Like, it doesn't matter what you are.
So just at the brewery and at us and get us in contact with them, and then we will drink the beer on the air.
Yeah, and compliment.
And then for some reason, that's fun for you. I don't know.
Yeah, it's fun for me. So
yeah, absolutely.
This is the dream.
Living it. Speaking of the dream, it is the run it back season. The Raptors officially championship summer is over and they're playing games.
Would you like to know if I'm in the tank?
How far?
Oh, so far.
Feeling like a 1 seed, aren't they?
Definitely had that thought yesterday of,
Hey, wait a minute.
Terrence Davis could be the next Fred VanVleet. I could see Terrence Davis getting a Finals MVP vote this year.
Wow. So my first question was going to be, do you consume the content? And obviously you do.
Oh, of course.
I'm glad.
I was at the Wilco show last night, and their merch was the North jersey, but instead of North, it was like everyone's consuming the content now. How can you not?
I had a crazy moment. How I called it Bizarro World the other day because Raptors had the scrimmage game. Mm-hmm. Fred VanVleet wore pants, which I was like, I feel this
extreme TSSC energy from Fred VanVleet,
and he was balling.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course.
I was like, damn, Fred VanVleet and I are not dissimilar.
Also, the ability
I would also not jump while I was
the ability to just roll out there in gray sweats and also be
the man.
Be the man is.
Yes.
That's God, I love Fred VanVleet.
But I was sort of like, man, we've really.
What a flex.
For all the throwaway little speeches last year about how it's different now and the fan base is it's at a level it hasn't been before. The scrimmage game footage for the first time I was like, oh, that's fucking legit. Like, hockey fans take that for granted, that there's just training camp footage. Squad,
yeah.
And people are like, oh, look at this. Like, it didn't even click to me that just wasn't a part of Raptors coverage before this.
That's true.
And now it's like,
a good point.
It's like,
I think
it should be there.
It should be there, but I feel like also every year it's been overshadowed by something. Last year it was Kawhi coming in. The year before it was past failures. Or actually, I guess every other year it's been overshadowed by past failure.
Yeah.
Whether they've been like just dog shit or it's been like, oh, they couldn't get past LeBron again. What's DeMar going to do this year?
Yeah.
So I think, we've talked a lot about exactly what you're saying. Like, is the fan base going to be different this year? What's the vibe going to be? And I don't think it's going to be as different as we thought it was. But I do think that for things like this, where it's just there's an air of calm at least right now.
Well, I think yes,
and an air of confidence, which Raptors fans are not good at. And like we're all in on Matt Thomas and Terrence Davis, but that's fine. It's fun, and they should. But we'll see.
In the way that you are in the tank, I think I am ready to say that I think the fan base is going to react differently than I thought they would.
How so?
I think we were talking about how it was going to be like there was going to be slack, and it was like, yeah, whatever happens, happens. I think this fan base is like, no, we're going to run this back.
Oh yeah, I think so too. And I also think and I think this is a good thing. I think that mindset can be both a negative and a positive.
Right.
I think there will probably be loud vocal segments that if they don't run it back, will be very critical and very loud about it.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll be correct, but I think they'll exist. But I also think the flip side of that is it allows the fan base to kind of just enjoy being champions for a little bit. And allows us to sort of have the fun in like the run it back confidence goes well with the like I don't know how to say this.
Disrespect.
Yeah. And like the support of the fan base. Because like everyone got behind the Raptors last year. It wasn't that it was like the fan base getting excited about a win, which like it was, but it was a new segments of the fan base coming to get behind the team. And it seemed like because they're playing the Warriors, because it's Toronto and all that, it seemed like everyone that they gained was just like having their back. There was obviously fair weather stuff, but it wasn't like just like, you know, like kind of what we saw with the Jays.
Right.
Where there was fair weatherness and then they disappeared. There is like a swagger to Raptors fans now.
Yeah.
Like it's Fred VanVleet coming out in sweatpants is the Raptors fan base right now. It's just like, all right.
Yes. Well said. I think sort of to the point of is it didn't erase the chip on the shoulder. And maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah. And I think
the chip remains. And,
I think losing Kawhi, obviously I would prefer him to stay.
Of course.
But it's kind of fun being back. It's fun having a championship and being back in the no one believes in the Raptors camp.
Well, there is the old adage that when you're the defending champ, teams give you their best shot every night, right?
Yep.
I think
that's going to happen.
And I think it's going to happen the other way now where Raptors are going to say, you're underestimating us, even though we're the defending champions. Here's our biggest shot over and over again. It'll be a tough season, but I think that's what's about to happen.
I also think that like it's very easy to say after one preseason game in a scrimmage.
Sure.
But like looking at the roster, looking at the rest of the Eastern Conference, save Milwaukee, who are better, there's no reason why this roster can't be a top 4 seed or a top 3 seed.
Right.
Just on paper. Purely on paper.
So, about the roster. Training camp is a time for the bottom of the roster, basically, for being real. Terrence Davis, you mentioned.
He'll be fun.
Looks like third string point guard, which is also second string because you're going to have the load management of Kyle.
Yeah.
And Fred obviously has yet to play a full season.
Seen a lot of people tossing around how Terrence Davis is going to be a fan favorite, and I think that's probably true.
The other one that we talked about stealing ideas, Blake, actually, believe it or not. Believe it or not, I agree with Blake on this. Chris Boucher is battling, not for third center, but he could be battling for backup power forward. Because Stanley Johnson is not out of the gate too hot.
And to your point about load management, Marc Gasol is going to be load menaged.
True. Interesting.
Yeah, Boucher's kind of I don't know what to make of him still.
I think the point that Blake made that I agree with the most, there's a lot of them. But all kidding aside, he hasn't ever played his way out of earning, right?
That's true.
You never see him and you're like, oh, he's a huge negative. He just like, he gets the ball and he shoots. That's what happens.
He has all the athletic gifts and abilities to be a professional basketball player. But I remember when I saw him play at the 905 last year, I think I said this on the show. I forget though, because it was in like February. But like when you watch him closely and like at the 905, it was, who else would I be watching?
Right.
There's like, it's sort of what we saw with Jonas Valanciunas a few years ago, whereas like everything's there, but like the mental,
he's clearly thinking.
He's clearly thinking, and the basketball IQ side just is, and that can be taught. I have no idea how that would translate to him being a, 15, 18 minute a guy night in the NBA.
Right.
But I mean, it's worth an experiment.
It's a chance for him to at least earn his way into the rotation on a regular basis.
I think so. I mean,
which is what the 905 is all about.
Can we trust him to play the Greg Monroe minutes? Probably.
Yeah. How many times is 905 going to do this where they just like over the course of 3 years, they turn a guy into a regular. It's crazy.
Right.
Every year they do one.
A finals vote and a finals MVP vote and a most improved player award from the 905 last year.
Siakam, who I continue to slowly, I'm going to have to acquiesce that my fears must be misguided.
They're still there though. It's weird. I feel the same way.
You understand, right?
Yeah, because
it's not that I'm doubting his skill or his ability or his drive.
No, but we're asking him to be a top 20 player in the league.
Without doubt.
Without doubt. Like, unquestionably superstar, max level, top 20 player in the league.
But I keep hearing things that convince me. That's what happens.
I know.
The big one this week.
Playmaking, passing.
Well, people were like, he watched Kawhi last year, and now he's doing Kawhi's drills. I was like, that makes a lot of sense.
I also like that.
I understand.
It does make a lot of sense. It's also funny that seems becoming the shorthand for all the guys on Raptors, though. Every single guy's like, they watch Kawhi. Now they're great.
That's what happened.
I wouldn't surprise me.
Wouldn't
if
you
that's
do
true,
Kawhi's drills?
Of course.
With the guy that worked with Kawhi last year?
Yeah, Pascal is, again, we know all the skills are there.
Yes.
Can they be put together into being a top 20 player? And the other question that I had the thought of yesterday watching the highlights of the preseason game is we might need him to be more than a top 20 player. If the way this team is building itself around Pascal, which I don't think is a mistake, but
who else?
He might need to be
they did give Kyle $31 million.
That's fine. Whatever. They have no money committed next year. Who gives a shit?
And Kyle,
he earned it.
Kudos.
Who
Kyle
cares?
understands.
Yeah.
They don't have anybody else to give that money to.
No.
So they should give it to me.
And you know what? They should. That's the thing.
Kyle, brilliant. I've never seen anything like Kyle Lowry in my life.
I know, right? And has to be one of the great NBA. His bags were packed.
Yeah.
To go to New York in 2013. He was almost not on this team, and now he's made over $100 million.
He's closing in on $200 million.
Yeah, it's wild. But with Pascal.
Yes. Sorry.
I lost my train of thought. Yes. Right. So I was watching highlights of playoffs on YouTube last week because I do that all the time because it's fun. And obviously we knew this at the time, and this isn't news, but it just kind of hit me because it's having some separation from the run and not being caught up in it. Mm-hmm. Just watching how good and dominant Kawhi is and was.
It's absurd.
It's ridiculous. And that's not taking away from the rest of the team, but you need a guy at that level to win the NBA title.
Right.
And so I think we need Pascal to be. He's not going to be Kawhi because Kawhi is arguably the best basketball player on the planet. Mm-hmm. But we need him to be pretty close.
Yeah. And
so I feel like, and I just have no idea. I still don't know. I want to believe. I want to be like, yes, Pascal's going to be the guy. But
who's to say?
It's wild. But you're right. Every time, you see him throw four assists in a preseason game.
Turnaround jumper.
It's like.
Mini post.
Maybe.
And Fred VanVleet statement year.
Has to be.
He's either an NBA starter or he's not. This is the year we find out.
Yeah, and we'll also determine, I think, whether he stays with the Toronto Raptors after this season.
Yeah.
If he's not an NBA starting point guard, he is not re-signing with this team.
Gotta say. Chicago Bulls starting point guard.
I was going to say, yeah, I'd see him in Atlanta for
yeah, makes a lot of sense. Anyway, some other things. MLB playoffs. You watching this?
A little bit, yeah. More than I thought.
It's hard to watch everything, isn't it?
It is. I'm definitely not watching the first 5 or 6 innings. Put it that way.
Okay.
If it's a close game and it's getting interesting, I'll watch it. Also, multiple game 5s. It's great.
You have to love it.
You gotta love it.
There's a very good possibility that we go into the championship series without Houston or Los Angeles.
Which I had picked them both to go to the World Series.
And your poor Twins. I tried to tell you.
I know.
I tried.
Man, how do you lose 18 straight playoff games to a single team? Can you imagine being a fan of a team with a streak like that? It's fine. At least they won games.
Yeah.
They've lost a particular game a bunch of times in a row, but they've won 9 games of the 21. Yeah, 12 and 9.
Okay.
21.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yes, it does. You're talking about the Raptors and Cavs.
Oh, I was talking about the Leafs and Bruins.
But pardon me.
Either way.
Yeah, what would it be like?
The Raptors haven't won 9 games against the Cavs.
That was my point to you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's no, the Raptors won a title, so fuck them.
That's absolutely right. And maybe the Twins will say that one day. We could be cruising. To a Yankees-Braves World Series.
I hate that. I don't want either of those teams.
And George W. Bush is in the news again. We're doing it.
It's 2001,
Friends with,
baby.
he's friends with Ellen, much to our surprise, I guess.
Rich
People who are super rich, like
they don't care about Ellen. Like
this will be the
Ellen doesn't give a shit.
This is the Ellen
about,
segment now.
Yeah,
because I have things to say too about that.
Of course, her apology was.
Well, here's the thing, right? Here's
the
thing. She says, "I'm friends with people who have different opinions than me." Fair enough, sure, right? And everyone goes, yeah, but our friends who have different opinions aren't war criminals.
Yes,
right,
correct. Our friends, you and I have different opinions. You are not responsible for the deaths of 1 million Iraqis.
But that's because we're not super rich.
Yes,
if we were super rich, our conservative friends would be war criminals.
Yes, that's a very good point.
It's just a different.
That's absolutely true.
She doesn't live on the same planet as us.
No, of course not. And just like it is nice that this whole story has sort of brought that class consciousness to
every so often it raises its head.
Yeah, it's good to know.
The NBA
celebrities aren't your friends.
The NBA trying to think did that too, but I am not smart.
No, I'm not. I don't know enough about that to get into it.
I'm too dumb.
Yeah,
that's
also I'm too white.
100%.
I'm way too white to have a solid take on that.
I'm under the impression that that's what we're supposed to do. Say I'm not informed. Don't come to me.
Yeah, Steve Kerr's response was great.
I don't know.
Someone asked Steve Kerr about it, and he was like, because they're like, you always have your.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm a white guy from America. I don't know. I'm not touching
Couldn't be me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the right response. Absolutely. Unless you know, and then if you know, you should discuss it.
Sure. Not us.
No, tell us what to think, but we don't know.
Well, that's
that's the MLB playoff segment.
Yeah, you gotta love sports. I wish the Braves would stop doing the fucking chop.
How the fuck is that still allowed?
That's all. And
that's been that statement of how they still do it has been for years.
Proudly, they do it proudly
and loud. Oh, I hate the Braves. Oh my god, I hate the Braves
because that's the only thing stopping a lot of people from being like, I love the Braves.
Nah, fuck that. I don't
because they're pretty fun to watch.
They are, but then you have to listen to all that Alex Anthopoulos zealots coming out of the woodwork, and that's
He's Canadian.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh. I guess I forgot about that point in my life.
That's a huge part of it.
2014 was a long time ago.
Evidently.
13, whatever.
But don't you feel at this point that, yeah, okay. I mean, I see that. It's an argument.
It's not even him. It's just the noise surrounding him. I have nothing against Alex Anthopoulos at all. He is responsible for some of the greatest sports moments of my life. I just like the noise around it.
By proxy, it means that you are. Here's the problem with sports, right? We get to this again, the billionaire thing. By proxy, it means we are rooting for Mark Shapiro, which I am not doing, quite frankly. It's been 5 years.
Yeah.
It's enough.
No,
It's enough.
You're right. I know you're right.
Even if it's not I think he's being unfairly attacked, I'm not cheering for him. I'm not go Mark Shapiro.
That's true. And also you're right.
He's not doing that for me. I'll tell you that much.
It has been 5 years. It's not like Anthopoulos winning this year. It's he left and then he won.
Yeah.
He's built a whole other team.
Don't think he wouldn't say fuck Jake Goldsby off the record.
Of course he would. Honestly, most people in sports should be able to say fuck Jake Goldsby for the things I've said in my life.
All right, we are careening into mailbag territory anyway.
Careening.
All right, that's enough. That's all I needed to know that it's no longer time to present ourselves as people who are going to have any serious conversation. So we move forward into the mailbag and to the match of the week, song of the week, and does this freak you out? Right after this. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
We have pulled it together.
First line of Rob Thomas and Santana's Smooth in here.
I feel like maybe that half bottle of that is the last 5 minutes of the show.
It's hot in here is what I was saying.
Yeah. It is time for Song of the Week, Match of the Week. Does this freak you out? And the mailbag. Jake, Song of the Week.
Song of the Week this week is a song called Raft Nasty by a band called Diarrhea Planet, who were the greatest band. They sadly are no longer together. But if you have not listened to Diarrhea Planet, or you've heard of them and just heard the name, or I don't think I need to listen to that band, you should, because they were the best.
How would you categorize Diarrhea Planet?
A mix of hair metal, pop punk, and good times. But genuinely, a mix of hair metal and pop punk is actually how I would categorize them.
Really?
Yeah. They had 4 guitars. They were the best.
Okay. For Match of the Week this week, I'm actually going to take a minute and just talk about AEW wrestling in general.
AEW?
AEW.
AEW.
Owned by Tony Khan.
Okay.
Son of the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I know I ask this all the time. Which one's Billy Corgan's?
NWA.
Thank you.
They went fully retro. They actually just launched a show that looks like it was filmed in the 80s. And they leaned fully into it.
I like that.
They did a good job. But AEW Wrestling is on Wednesdays now. And it represents this thing because I was talking to my friend Josh about wrestling. We talk about wrestling all the time.
Sure.
And he was talking about, he has a friend that he just introduced him. They went to a live show, which is a great way to get into it. And he was like, the person wants to know if they will enjoy TV of this show or not. What do I show them? And I was like, they're not going to enjoy the TV. Because the WWE wrestling television shows are bad. It's bad television. It's just not good television. You can't objectively say it's not a bad television show because things happen in television shows in short periods of time. And then in these wrestling shows, nothing happens for huge periods of time. And people convince themselves it's not a bad show. And it's really a bad show most of the time. Because
I've seen concerts like that.
You've seen,
yeah,
and you've seen wrestling shows. I'm sure someone's been watching wrestling around you, and you tune in, and it's people standing in a ring talking for 20 minutes.
Yeah, you know who my friends are, of course.
Yes, right. Nothing gets accomplished in that 20 minutes.
No.
And when you think about what other television
the setups,
shows,
even when we watched WrestleMania last year, it was like the match themselves. Like I get it,
yeah,
but the setups was just like I don't care.
And if you gave any other television show in the world 20 minutes of dialogue, something would happen.
You would hope.
There would be progression.
That's the length of most shows.
Yes. So I just want to extend how much I am hoping that AEW Wrestling is a different thing.
I like it.
It's been presented very differently, and it's exciting to start. It's only been on for 1 week. There's another episode tonight that I will watch, but just genuine optimism about the state of the industry.
That's good.
So match of the week is
it's nice to have optimism about a thing you like.
Yes, and maybe it'll flame out, and that's the way life is.
But then there'll be another one that replaces it.
My match of the week is just the show AEW Dynamite for this week. That comes out tonight that I haven't even seen yet.
I like it.
Bada boom.
Great.
Jake, time to ask that question.
It's time to ask that question. Zubes, does this freak you out?
Yes.
The George Pub and Grill in County Durham, England.
This is the Mirror.
Oh, yeah, it is, baby. Has recently reopened its doors following a fire earlier this year. They have a new burger challenge for customers called the Big Ben number 10. It costs £28 and whatever the cents equivalent of pounds is. $28.95.
It's a heavy price.
Hey. Just to be clear, this is like a $52 burger.
For sure.
Canadian. Features a stack of 10 burgers, smothered in cheese, and to make things even meatier, love the Mirror, each layer is topped with bacon. There's also a side of chips. Whole thing weighs...
Which is fries.
Yes. The whole thing weighs in at 1.5 kilograms and contains around 12,000 calories. A picture of it, if you'd like to see.
Absurd.
This is not the freak you out part.
Okay, I was going to say, it's like big food doesn't freak me out.
No. What you can add extra bacon if you want.
Yeah.
What's more, the owner of the pub, this is the freak you out part, has pledged to pay compensation of up to £500 of his own money towards a headstone if anyone should happen to die while attempting to eat the burger.
That's I like that. That's showmanship.
If people want, they can add a further dollop of liquid cheese over the whole dish.
Yeah.
So the question is, twofold question.
Okay.
One, does a restaurant creating a food where they literally have to consider buying the person a headstone in case they die eating it freak you out? And two, would you eat that burger?
Wasn't there a Toronto institution that was like, they were just like, these burgers are going to kill you?
I feel like burger places like to do these crazy burger things, but like usually the prize
Don Draper-esque.
Yeah, but like the prize is usually just like, you don't have to pay for this fucking burger.
Right. But I feel like there was a burger place that like the burgers were named after the fact that it was
Dangerous Dan's.
Yeah.
The coronary burger.
So it's standard fare. I think it's a standard scare tactic.
Sure.
I don't think anybody is attempting it with the like, I'm gonna get that headstone.
But here's the thing. The only way to win this prize is to die.
Yeah. It's too bad.
It just seems like a freak me out. What am I looking for? Not proposition. Promotion.
It's too much burger. I'm as I age, obviously, I age rapidly.
Don't we all?
The prospect of like challenge food.
Yeah.
Becomes to me as just like that would be uncomfortable.
I see it sometimes. I think about the end game of it. Like I saw just scrolling through my phone the other day. So I have two people attempting to eat like a 12-pound meatball or something. And I was like, but it tastes good. But like,
like, you know what no longer matters to me at all anymore as I turn 34 at the end of this month? The idea of bragging rights. No such thing. No such thing.
Yeah, I mean, like,
bragging rights is nothing.
Bragging rights now is like, I can afford food and rent and bills.
The idea that I would do something and then later be like, oh, I accomplished that. And like anyone in my life.
Anything? Like, do you just mean like feats or like accomplish
trivial dumb shit like that?
Right, yeah.
Like no one in my life is going to be like, oh, you finished the burger? Wow. No one, but like, yeah, you're a fucking idiot. It's like, that's about it.
Which I think is also a thing.
I bet that felt bad is what most of my friends would say.
The other thing on that note is as I get older, I realize that's always been the case. Even when we were younger. Mm-hmm. Like when you did like a crazy pub crawl, the answer was from most people, except the people you did it with, was
that's
like,
right.
You're a fucking idiot.
And even half of those people were like, this isn't really my thing.
Yeah. Trivial dumb shit is fun, but it's stupid.
The idea of bragging rights, I'm smashing down in my life. But I also, not doing things is like my expertise. Nothing I'm better at than getting out of doing something.
That's true. You are very good at that.
Super good at it.
We did it for years on this show.
That is so true. So true. So no freak out on that one.
Does not freak you out.
Doesn't freak me out because it's promotion.
Yeah. I hope he doesn't have to follow through on that.
I feel like he should have to.
No, but I mean, like, I hope nobody dies eating a fucking
restaurant.
Stupid burger.
The start of that story you told me was like there was a fire.
Yeah, I want to know more about the fire.
What?
The mirror likes to.
Not sure that's important.
The mirror likes to gloss over.
I thought it was going to be that there was a fire, and then they reopened, and suddenly it was haunted. That was my expectation.
Oh, I have a addendum to Does This Freak You Out? Okay. This actually does kind of freak me out.
Now we're talking.
Competitive eater Kyle Gibson has already taken on the extreme challenge and polished off the entire thing in just 21 minutes.
Damn, you got to eat it fast.
But like, how do you eat 12,000 calories in 21 minutes? That's impressive and freaks me out. I pity that. I mean, he's a competitive eater, so his stomach is trained, but like, damn.
So what do you get for...
Nothing.
There is no completion challenge.
Maybe that freaks me out
more.
The
death is the only completion challenge.
Yeah. That might freak me out more, actually. That's just like pointless. Literally pointless. Your best case scenario in this is you get a free headstone when you die. And not even a free headstone, just 500 pounds of your headstone paid.
Mercy.
Yeah. The world's an interesting place.
You got to get that advertising money.
I guess so. In the 7th page of the weird news section of the Daily Mirror.
Okay.
Yeah.
We move forward.
Mailbag.
Speaking of winning things, by the way, as I mentioned last week, the merch launch.
Yes, that's right.
For the month of October.
I thought we were going to talk about the Wolf Pack.
The Bo Bichette X Star Wars. This isn't helping. I don't know. I held this out thinking it would help. It's just a bag. The Bo Bichette Star Wars mashup shirt. Not mashup. That's a dumb word. Kids don't say mashup anymore.
Don't they?
The Bo Bichette Star Wars shirt. It's in our merch shop. I got mine. Jake has his. That's why we were holding them up.
Yeah.
To show that we had them.
We got them.
We have ours. We're all set. But if you haven't gotten yours, the shirt only exists in our store for the month of October.
This is why no one sponsored us for so long, because this is how we read ads.
So head over to sportsfeld.ca, click on merch.
And buy it.
Buy that t-shirt. We have it. And don't you want to have the same shirts as us?
And there's some great shirts on there too.
Other shirts that don't suck.
Yeah.
Not that, like, that's not what I meant. You know what I mean? We have a bunch of shirts that don't suck.
Yeah. All our shirts are great, is what I think you were trying to say.
Because, like, not that the shirts sucked before. They're just our logo.
Yeah, but it's not like...
If you're such a good person that you are out there just wearing our logo as a shirt, I love you.
That's amazing.
First and foremost.
I want to see it. My dream is to see
but now the
shirt like a show or a festival or something.
Like all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. And they're like fashionable wearable shirts.
Including Bo Bichette.
Yeah. Which is right here, as we said.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
So you can also... There's a chance you can win that shirt.
There's a chance.
If you leave a review. Somebody won our shirt this week.
By leaving a great review.
We're going to do that before the end of the show.
Oh, great.
Read that
We're
review.
just teeing that up now.
We're going into Mailbag now.
I love it.
There's no break between Mailbag and the...
Why would there ever be a break there? Only an idiot would say there's a break there.
You have to be dumb. First question, soup season, baby. It is soup season.
Oh, hell yeah. I love soup season.
Our old friend...
Had 2 soups in a week.
Our old friend Didymus asks us, what's your favorite kind of soup? Where would you recommend a young Russian hockey player go if he wanted soup in the city?
You know, I don't know if I have an answer to the second part of that question. When I think of like Toronto,
Ravi soups?
I guess it depends what you're considering. Are we considering like a pho or a ramen a soup? Because if so, the answer is Golden Turtle in Ossington.
If it's not soup, what is it? It's
a noodle dish, I guess, but it's in a broth.
To me, that's soup.
I think it's soup, noodle soup. So then I would say Golden Turtle on Ossington. Get some pho. It's delicious.
Is that your answer for favorite soup?
You know, it might be.
Doesn't
I didn't
surprise
think
me.
it was. I didn't think it was going to be. I thought I was going to go. I'm a big like clam chowder guy.
Yeah, I love a creamy soup.
Yeah, a clam chowder, or like a lobster bisque, or a bouillabaisse. I'm a big seafood guy, also clearly.
Yes.
But you know, I think I'm going pho. I didn't think I would, but I think I'm gonna.
There you are. I like all kinds of soups.
Soups are great. Oh, I love soup.
I had a chicken tortilla soup the other day.
Ooh, that sounds good.
So good.
I made a leek and potato the other day. That was really good.
It's all so good. It's hard for me to say that I like one the most.
I feel like soup is a weirdly underrated food.
This is what Ilya Mikhaev was trying to say.
Yeah.
Where's all the soup was basically his gist of living in Toronto so far.
Look, Ilya Mikhaev, if you'd like to come on Sportsfeld and talk about soup, because
Yeah.
you're definitely listening.
I think if anything, what he's done for like 2 days, all Twitter talked about was like, oh, I like soup.
Yeah. I think, again, it's not a food stuff people talk about a ton,
Yeah.
but then everyone's like, oh, wait, yeah, soup fucking rules.
Well, I guess here's the thing: is it's no sandwich, right? People are always talking about sandwiches.
I guess that's true.
There was
yeah.
like, oh, I had this sandwich.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah,
like, yeah. I'm sure it was
I
great.
mean, you did text me about a sandwich.
Because you were dead right. You were dead right. about that sandwich.
But soup is like, it's an early formed love. Like, everyone has soup when they're a kid.
Yeah.
Just like everyone has sandwiches, but like everyone has soup.
Right.
And soup is a culture, as we've established, between Ilya Mikhaev and his love of borscht,
Yeah.
and pho, and ramen, and chowders. Soup spans cultures and generations. Every culture has a soup.
Yeah. Beautiful.
It's great.
I think
Soup will save the world.
I think Ilya has revealed that there is a soup culture in this city.
Yes.
It just isn't
It's not as loud.
plastered all over the walls.
You know what? We have so many fantastic craft sandwich places in this city. It's time for some craft soup places.
Let's get it. Two different questions about jean jackets this week.
Why is everyone so into jean jackets?
It must be the season. Jean jackets, good or bad, is one of them.
Currently wearing one, so good.
Denim jacket, should I get one? Is the
Yes.
second
The
question.
answer is yes. I had jean jackets a lot when I was like young, and then I didn't wear them for a long time because I felt they made me look boxy and weird.
I've never put one on that didn't make me feel boxy and weird.
Yeah. And then I was told that that's not the case by my fiance, and I trust her fashion view more than my own.
Yeah.
Maybe this does make me look weird and boxy. I'm small and stocky, so most things do. But I love a jean jacket. It's comfy.
I don't own one. I never really have.
Yeah. I can't wear like
Because they make me feel boxy.
I can't wear like the button-up jean shirts. I really want to be able to, but those make me look really weird and boxy. But
I have jean shirts.
yeah, and they don't make you look weird and boxy. I've seen them on you. Like,
Yeah.
they don't.
It's a shirt.
But the jacket, you're just like, no.
Something about how high it gets cut. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I get it. I had the same question, but I say yes.
I've never pulled off bomber length anything.
This is the first time I've like attempted. I'm also gonna say like
You're dressed normally.
also based on like
I see you and I go, that's Jake dressed.
and based on everything about me, I think I have to own a jean jacket because it's just the uniform.
Speaking of which, I wanted to mention Resting on Pretty,
Yes,
our sister podcast.
our sister podcast
Who I
slash
think-
fiance podcast.
I think hit top 25.
20. I think so. 25, 26
Yeah.
on the charts. 24.
And I wanted to mention to you another one. Since we're on the topic of fashion, they did a thing where they released all the old headshots,
Of us, yeah,
failed models. How does it feel that like you definitely still own that shirt?
and hoodie.
I was like, wow, Jake's sense of fashion is so
Yeah, that photo was taken.
crystallized.
That photo was taken 9 years ago. Still own both the shirt and the hoodie. Wear the shirt still regularly. It's in my rotation. Don't wear the hoodie so much anymore because it's full of holes, but I love it. And Cassie gets mad at me when I wear
I love it.
But
I love that. I was like, yeah, Jake's still fucking doing it.
yeah, also, yeah. Why would I evolve my fashion sense beyond being 20?
No.
You know. Also, shout out to Wrestling on Pretty. I'm very proud of them,
Yeah.
and I'm so glad it's gone well because it kicks ass.
And man, did I ever get in a complimentary way, Sportsfeldy vibes.
Oh yeah,
Very Sportsfeldy.
we're changing the world, man.
Where they're like constantly like, wait a minute, we're here to talk about a thing that's like that is the topic
We're
of the
getting
show.
off tangent. Yeah.
Great stuff. Lots
Yeah,
of
it's
laughs.
great. I love it.
Lots of laughs. Chris-
LOLs.
Yeah, Chris Hawken asks us, Thanksgiving related favorite food, favorite tradition. I don't think anything will ever beat mashed potatoes with gravy
You know,
and stuffing
I just
with gravy.
I love. I was
Gravy.
talking about this recently. I think with Cassie that I realized as I've grown older that like a turkey dinner is like one of my three favorite
A
meals.
delicacy.
Never have it because like, and it's also a weird thing that like people don't. I know it's a lot of work to like make a fucking turkey, but like people don't
just
just
have
like
turkey.
make turkey and stuffing and mashed potatoes.
what they do at Thanksgiving.
That's what I'm like, just outside of holiday situations.
Yeah.
And I feel like they should. If there was a restaurant that served Thanksgiving meals all the time, I would go.
I think Swiss Chalet is the place you're looking for.
But they only serve stuffing at Christmas time.
Pieces of shit.
Festive special, man.
What are we doing on this show if we're not getting stuff like full year-round stuffing?
This is what I'm saying.
We need to open a soup/Thanksgiving store where every day, it's a cold Thanksgiving day.
I love that.
It's like TGI Fridays, TGI Thanksgiving.
And it could alternate every day. So like one day you serve the soup and the full turkey dinner.
Yeah.
The next day you serve like leftover sandwiches.
Cold turkey sandwiches.
Yeah. And turkey soup. We're just
copyright.
Genius ideas.
Edit that part out of the show. We're giving away a lot of money to somebody else.
Call it turkey time. I don't know. No, that's not good.
Talking turkey. The name of the restaurant is Talking Turkey.
Yeah. Or if this podcast just becomes about turkey, then we'll call it.
Name of the podcast is Good Restaurant Ideas. Ryanologist asks us how far we would get on hot ones.
None of us really know
we'll both answer that and then realize we don't know how many levels it gets to.
I don't know. On Saturday, I had some pretty spicy wings and definitely felt it. I feel like I could do on like the scale of like we've kind of done this on the show now that I think about it.
Yeah.
On the scale of like not spicy wings to like it's so spicy once it touches your tongue, like you can't even eat it. I'd say if like that's 1 to 10, I feel like I'm like an 8, 7.
I feel like you have to, if you're on the show, you have to go beyond what your limit is.
Yes.
Nobody goes there and is like, all right,
I just had a bunch of mild wings. I feel great.
That's as hot as I'd like. Thank you.
I think that's true.
You have to go until you're hurt.
Yeah. Which like, I don't know. I had to leave the bar and go buy an antacid on Saturday because the wings were spicy. But I was able to survive it and they tasted great.
Thank God for antacid.
Right? Saving my life.
Duncan, I don't know, asks, which season would be used best to introduce somebody to Drag Race? RuPaul's Drag Race.
So there's a few ways, I think, to answer this question. There is, do you introduce them to, you can always start at the beginning because then you see the evolution.
Right.
Do you introduce them to like the first quote unquote iconic season? Or do you introduce them to like the best season?
Yeah, well, I worry that if you don't.
And I think all three of those are different answers.
I worry that if you don't start them near the beginning, like if you don't start at like season 2, you see all the old queens that have won. And you're like, well, now I know who wins those old seasons. And there's no reason to go back and watch them, even though they are essential viewing.
I will say, I started at season 9 and was extremely confused.
Right.
And it wasn't until I went
these
back.
stars are coming back and you're like, oh.
And there's all these references. And sometimes in Snatch Game, they impersonate another queen, which sucks. But like,
so like maybe 3?
3 would be 3 is I feel like where current Drag Race began.
Yeah.
Is what I would say.
3 was my instinct as well because 2 was a good introduction, but it wasn't so iconic and informative that I couldn't have existed without it.
Yeah.
Tyra never really doesn't really factor in.
I see. We'll do this when we do our Drag Race episode and like rank seasons. I think 3 is woefully underrated.
I like season 3.
I love season 3.
It was the one that got me to be like, all right, this is the best reality show that there is.
Yeah.
Competition reality.
That's fair.
I feel like the Emmy, so it is.
If you're just like showing someone one season, though, I think you'd have to go with 6.
Sure. But this is to introduce them to.
Yeah, I think 3 is the right answer.
I think 3.
I think so too. Also, I'm Drag Race UK, pretty dope.
And finally, Garrett asks us, "What's your worst TTC story?"
So my parents live actually close to where we are right now, in the east end of Toronto, and in my younger, more drunken days, I would spend a lot of time at a bar we talk about a lot called Sneaky D's.
Oh yeah,
which is on College Street in Toronto. And so to get from Sneaky D's to my parents' house, the easiest thing to do is just take the College Street car.
Yes, sir.
And it's like 20 minutes, easy, no problem. When I was in university and back for the summer, I just moved back after university. Great, easy public transit. One time, several times, but one time specifically, I passed out on the way home, as I am wont to do.
Commercials.
When you pass out on that streetcar, it takes you all the way to Main Station. And when it's 4 a.m, because you've passed out after the bar, you are awoken by the driver.
Right.
At Main Station. And folks, you're confused.
Yeah.
I was, this is also the days before Uber was commonplace.
Of course.
So it's 4 a.m, you're at Main and not even Danforth. I'm not sure wherever that like.
I have no idea.
There's a streetcar garage
Right.
At like Maine and Girard, I guess. And it's 4 a.m. So there's no cabs around because why would there be at that place at that time? And I have just remember being awoken and told to get off the streetcar because he wanted to go home.
Right.
Because it was 4 a.m. And having to find my way, not even that far, just from Maine and Girard to like Girard and Logan. Not that bad. But just like drunk and tired and that like just woke up from pass out tired. And I think I got home at like 5:30, just being lost and confused in my own city. Man, it was... It's not the TTC's like this is worse. It's not the TTC's fault.
No.
It's absolutely my fault.
Your sweet parents.
Oh, they were asleep.
Man. Incredible.
Long asleep.
Incredible.
Yeah. You know, being an adult I wasn't. I was like 22, but still.
Still.
That's old enough to not do that.
Well, evidently not.
Yeah.
I think that's prime time to do that, quite frankly.
Yeah, that's true, actually. If I did it, it'd be way more embarrassing if it happened to me now.
If you did it now, it'd be like, all right, buddy.
What's going on?
Put your shit together here.
Yeah. I get a talking to, I think.
I mean, when you're somebody who works nights, you get a lot of, it happens to me, you know, not a lot, but when you work nights and you work nights on the weekends, there are oftentimes like the only person who's not drunk on the like 1:30 in the morning subway, and that's not a fun time.
No, or the fucking the night bus. That's a nightmare.
Yes, that was always the worst. Was when I worked at Sportsnet, I would have to take the Young Line night bus at 3 a.m.
along Bloor.
Ugh. Just an animal cage.
Oh, terrible.
It's when you're young in the city and you realize that you should just walk. Like you should just. It'll take you an extra 20 minutes, but you may as well just walk because you won't.
I think I stopped taking it pretty quickly.
It won't be a cage of anxiety for you.
Yeah, even drunk.
Yes,
like not even
100%.
Just being sober on that. But anything's a nightmare on that bus.
Yeah, I'm happy to be at the point in my life now where just like I don't take drunk buses.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
I'll pay the money.
Yeah, of course. There's so many options now to not take drunk public transit.
Yeah, but when you're young and you're new in the city, taking the drunk public transit is part of it. I once saw a fight on the 504 streetcar once, where it was 2 women in Parkdale, and one of them, one behind the other, and she dinged for her stop, and then when the streetcar came to a stop, sucker like Todd Bertuzzi sucker punched the one in front of her. Didn't knock her over though, and the girl in the front turned and literally kicked the other person out of the streetcar door, like kicked them like 2 or 3 times. But like you have to stand on the step to open those old streetcar doors. Yeah, so it was like you had to kick her and then hope that your kick, the person you were kicking, stepped on the step.
Oh, that's
is wild. And then we just like stopped the streetcar.
Of course. To make sure that person didn't die.
Right. But it's like you also want to go because the person is just standing outside of the streetcar now.
Right. Yes.
So you don't want a street beef.
That's a good one.
So I was late for work that day.
I also once, also on the 504 streetcar, coming home from a bar, saw a man just piss on the stairs.
Sure.
Just check out his dick, and as the streetcar is moving, just pee on the stairs.
You should assume that people have pissed on pretty much everything in the TDC.
Oh, yeah. Like, especially at that time of day.
100%.
Yeah.
Well,
that was a mailbag.
That was mailbag. We have nothing left to do but to answer the only question left. And that is whether we are sad or not sad. And that occurs after this. We have arrived at the caboose of the episode.
Fuck off.
What? I can't say anything to this
Caboose.
guy.
You get mad at me for my Santana jokes, and then
We're at the end.
I guess.
That's what comes at the end of the train.
Caboose.
Caboose. Before we go into the Saturday Night Sad, we have our review of the week, as we mentioned. So all you gotta do to win a fucking shirt is what this
Leave a
person did.
good review, yeah.
You don't even need to use a name. Big Busket 35. That's nothing.
I mean, you don't know that, to be fair.
Could be Kevin Durant.
Imagine I hope Kevin Durant does this show, actually, after the playoffs. But actually, no, I hope he does. Kevin Durant, come on Sportsfeld.
Sure. Lots going on. In addition, I'm 2 words wrong already. Big Busket 35 said this to us, or about us, I suppose. The addition of multiple new segments has made me consistently not sad, capital N, capital S, that I get a new episode each week.
That's what everyone loves to hear.
Jake's weekly turn into an curmudgeonly old man is slowly, fully taking over. It is correct.
Yeah. I was going to be offended, but it's just true.
The song of the week has basically answered a question I wanted to ask often while listening to the podcast too.
Hey.
So that's nice. And finally, Does This Freak You Out has not gotten me yet, but it is fun to hear you guys work through the many ways each entry could be spooky. Keep up the great work, and I'm glad to see you guys have advertising now, because that makes it more likely that I can listen to this show for the foreseeable future. I love the ads. That's what you want to hear.
You gotta love the ads.
I love that there are ads in
Capitalism
the show.
is good.
And that is all you need to get. Speaking of capitalism, system works. The gears continue to grind. You get a free shirt just for that.
That's true. That's not capitalism.
It sure is.
Is it?
It's
free?
Trickle-down economics.
I'll take your word for it.
He said ads are good. We say here's a shirt.
I guess so, yeah. It seems more like doing something for free, but
not that
it's not that
cut and
capitalistic.
dry.
Yeah.
Anyway, congratulations, Big Busket. Seriously.
Yeah.
You are the owner of...
Thank you for calling me a curmudgeonly old man.
You are the owner of a Boba Shet t-shirt. If you want to win a free t-shirt, you listening to this, unless you're Big Busket, in which case you already have, so don't worry.
Yeah. I mean, you can leave another review if you want.
Yeah,
I just don't want a shirt.
Head on over to your app provider and write us a creative review, and you may be the lucky winner. If you don't want to send us a review, but you do want the shirt, sportsfeld.ca. Click on the merch button at the top.
That's the capitalism part.
Yeah, baby.
Oh.
Anyway, speaking of capitalism, Jake. This week, would you categorize yourself, if you have two options of sad or not sad, which one would you pick?
I'm going to go with not sad, Zubes.
He's going to go with not sad Zubes.
I was going to turn this into a plug for Wrestling Unpretty, but we did that already. So I'm going to do something else.
Boom.
Because I'm proud of them, as I said. I think it's great. But no, my not sad is I went to the Toronto Wolfpack game this weekend.
Right.
I had not been to a Toronto Wolfpack game before.
You ran with the pack?
I did. Rugby fucking rules.
Yes.
Is the thing I've learned. And if there's anything I needed, it was more sports to follow.
Yes.
And more sports to like. But like, I do think genuinely in my not saddom, I do think that there is I found this when I got into soccer as well. There's a bit of a joy in like in sport, discovering something new.
Yes.
That you quite enjoy. And man, what a simple, fun sport. Like it's just, you try to get one end to the other.
It is.
And that's the game.
Yes. I think when you watch it up close, because you get to be as close as you want at Lamport.
Oh yeah. And you hear skin smacking. Like it's.
Yes. And when you see them practice.
Man, how do they not break everything on every play?
You realize that they might be in the conversation for the upper tier athlete on the planet.
Oh yeah.
Because you have the endurance of soccer. You are constantly running.
Yep. Just back and forth for 80 minutes.
But you also have to have the muscle of football because you are constantly being hit.
And the like physical endurance of football because you're constantly being hit.
You have to be, that's right.
You're moving the pile for the sport.
As I said,
the sport.
I talked to the team about this. I talked to the coach and Ashton Sims about this. And the point they make is like, if you have like a 70-yard run in football, the guy runs 70 yards, everyone sort of like half-heartedly jogs down, then everyone stops for a minute.
Yeah.
Some guys get off the field, some guys come on, and everyone stops and pauses, you catch your breath, and you go again. Rugby
never stops.
All you do is run up to that guy and the ball doesn't play again. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, even after a score, there's like a minute to catch a breath. And sometimes they don't score. There was like, they didn't score till the very end of the first half in the game on Saturday.
Yeah.
Like that's like 35 minutes of just not stopping. And boy, they're large.
They're huge.
And they have to be, obviously, but like, god damn, they're big.
Yeah, it's just an incredible combination of strengths and skills.
It's true, and it is
because that's not even mentioning kicking and throwing and catching.
Oh, the kicking from just the fact on the extra points they pull it straight out.
Yeah,
just kicking from the side. I also think like there's something I found very because it's such in a lot of ways. I'm sure like the technical actually playing aspects are quite complicated, but like in terms of rules and in terms of purpose, it's quite a simple game. It feels. At least it felt to me like sort of watching soccer, football, baseball, hockey, basketball, whatever, have since they were founded, have evolved over the years.
Right.
It feels like, oh yeah, this is probably not far off from what rugby was just 130 years ago.
Just a simple game.
Yeah. And there's something refreshing and nice about that. It was a great time. And Lamport was great. Their beer system is fantastic. I had a great time.
Super League, baby.
Yeah. Yeah. Super League. I'll definitely go a bunch next year. It was really fun.
I expect that the Super League games are going to be really good games. That's what everyone I talked to around the
I've
team
heard
told
the same.
me was like, it's hit or miss right now in the league they were in. They're generally better than every team. But the game that you saw at Lamport, where they was like playing for promotion, is more in tune with what it will be like at Super League, where it's back and forth.
I think so. Well, it's top flight, right? It's going to be, if there's anything to play, that's this. But yeah, I had a great time.
Anyway, Bonzer. Positively Bonzer. Yeah, the boys.
Yeah. Everything is Bonzer.
The Wolfpack. Shout out to the Wolfpack.
Shout out
to whoever, to our provider of tickets.
Whoever at the Wolfpack. Yeah. The I'm going to assume it was the players. Listen to our show.
That's what
we
people.
Should give them free stuff.
That's why they give us free stuff, so that we don't remember who they are.
Yeah.
And don't know what to say.
Thank you,
anonymous donator.
This person
who definitely didn't reach out by name. Anyway, I'm going to stop bearing us over this.
Telling on ourselves a lot.
Yeah, I know no other way.
That's fair.
Last week, I did a not sad for our boy Owen Ross.
That's right.
And it reminded me of the fact that there's a couple other Sportsfeld babies out there. So my not sad this week is for my man, Asher Drake Vandenberg, and for my dude, Ben XT, Benjamin Holbert. The lads, the absolute lads.
The absolute lads.
3 sweet boys, along with Owen Ross out there grinding.
Everyone's having kids.
New babies, baby. Sweet kids.
Sean will have a kid any day now.
Couple dudes chilling. Asher Drake and Ben XT.
It is crazy. Like, it's like a stupid, like 30-year-old person observation that like everyone makes. But it is crazy to me now that just like friends having kids is just reality.
Of course. Yeah.
It's wild.
In your 30s.
Yeah. But like you hear about it happening.
It's by plan.
You hear about it happening your entire life.
Yes.
And then it does happen. You're like, oh.
It's pretty cool.
All right.
Plenty of them out there.
It's nice to be at an age where it stops being like strange. Sure. Not strange, but like, oh, whoa, you're doing that now?
Sportsfeld babies.
Yeah. Sportsfeld babies.
All baby boys.
We should make a Sportsfeld onesie for all the babies.
See, now we're thinking. This and the Thanksgiving restaurant.
If Sean and Clay are listening.
I think the Thanksgiving restaurant's a good idea.
I do too, right? The leftovers the next day?
That's really smart.
You save yourself a whole day on like food costs basically, so you only really need to like fund 3 days. You just gotta buy a lot of turkeys.
Just like,
and is it a full turkey dinner for everyone, or you go like?
My question on the leftovers is, how will people know if it's the day or the day after?
They have to trust us.
But like
it's the concept of the restaurant.
When you go to the restaurant,
how do you know they're actually using free range meat? If they
no, I know, but like by the way that you are explaining it, one day the restaurant is turkey dinner.
Yes.
The next day.
Yes.
It's leftovers.
Correct.
How do you know if you're there on a leftover day or not?
Twitter, websites. You can get the information out there.
Pop-up shop.
Not even a pop-up. People change. There are restaurants that change their menu every week. You just got to check, or you just show up. Like one of my favorite restaurants in the city, it's a place called Honest Wait. They change their menu all the time. You just got to show up and see what's there. I feel like people be down for it.
Okay.
The real question is, on the non-leftover day.
Right.
Is it like you get a full fucking turkey, or you have to be like you can choose if you want?
You get a plate.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like and
you can choose if you want like leg or breast or whatever.
Yeah, you get like a a la carte sort of thing. No, not a la carte.
No, not a la carte. But I get what you're saying.
But maybe it's buffet style. That's Thanksgiving, isn't it? What's more Thanksgiving than
that? Yeah. No, you're
everything is just there. And you go up and get it as much as you want.
Absolutely correct.
It's a buffet style.
Thanksgiving restaurant. Because after 2 plates, you want to die anyway, so you won't even have to spend that much.
What's it matter?
Yeah.
A bunch of warm rolls in the front.
Well, of course. You have your sides. You have your yams or green bean or whatever, and then you have the real sides, which is, the stuffings and the mashed potatoes.
Right.
Serve your own gravy, so you can,
of course,
because choosing how much gravy you get is key.
Naturally.
To the meal.
Steamed vegetables or whatever.
Yeah.
Cranberry
pecan
sauce.
pie for dessert. Pumpkin pie if you want.
And there's no reason to expand the menu because it's a Thanksgiving restaurant.
That's the whole point of the restaurant. We're onto something here.
Look out.
We've seen a name. Needs a name.
It's not Talking Turkey.
You sure?
Yes. TGIT. Thank God
it's turkey.
Thank God it's Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah, that makes more sense.
This would be a Thanksgiving.
Not Easter. Do you do turkey?
That is the thing, right? Is
Christmas? What's your one that you do Easter or turkey? Christmas,
I guess.
Christmas, yeah.
But you're right. You can do it whenever you want.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving restaurant.
Giving thanks.
All right, we'll put a plug in this and comes back to it. We'll be here all day just saying bad
Sitting
names.
in silence thinking of names.
Anyway, don't forget.
Silly show today.
Don't forget the review thing to get some merch.
Yeah.
Don't forget to get merch at sportsfeld.ca/merch. Not /merch, sportsfeld.ca. Click on merch.
Sure.
And don't forget, we are drinking these motherfuckers all month.
What a month this is going to be.
I'm so mad that I'm already done the one we poured today. Halfway through the episode, I was like, I want more of that. It's Blood Brothers Brewing. The beer we love to drink anyway.
The beer that we drink.
Our go-to, I don't know what I want. Let's just see what Blood Brothers is doing this month. In October, they are our brewery of the month. It's 165 Geary Avenue, open 7 days a week, noon to 11. If you can't make it to the shop, I can't even believe I'm saying this. They deliver them to your home.
Why wouldn't you do that?
Via online bottle shop at bloodbrothersbrewing.com. Today we drank the Under a House in Northern Italy Amaretto Coffee Stout, 7% ABV. It was a Digestivo inspired stout.
Great time.
Brewed with coffee, sweet almonds, full body coffee forward stout with a sweet nutty finish. Let me ask you this, Jake.
What's up, Zubes?
In front of you, you have a Shumei North American IPA. You have a Auto Pop dry hopped Berliner Rice.
I like this label.
And we have a Paradise Lost Guava Sour Ale. Which of those three would you like to drink next week?
You know, my brain, or my heart, I should say, wants to say the Shumei because it's just genuinely one of my favorite beers. I drink it all the time, but I drink it all the time. I think next week we should go with this Auto Pop because it's got a cool label and I've never had it before.
It's a 4% dry hopped Berliner Rice.
Wakatu and Centennial.
Expect a refreshing floral and lime aroma, balanced acidity, and clean finish. We will find out if that's the case next week.
It's a good little preview.
It's a teaser.
And next week we'll have a name for our Thanksgiving restaurant.
100%, unless one of you steals it and opens it in that time.
In which case, that's fine because
who knows?
Then we can go.
We don't have the capital anyway.
Yeah, and also then I can eat turkey all the time. So great.
All right. So thank you to Sean and Clay for whatever it is that they do.
Allowing us to do this show for some fucking reason.
I assume getting the file and uploading it. I don't know what else to do.
I don't know. Dylan does all the work.
Letting us in the building. Thank you to Dylan Wilson for doing the actual work on the show.
Yeah.
We love Dylan Wilson. We're going to get drunk every weekend and talk about how much we like Dylan Wilson, evidently. Thank you to the intern in the box, who's back in the box this week. And thank you, the listener, more than anyone, more than all those fucking guys put together, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's true.
Those guys don't do shit.
No, compared to you?
Fuck them.
Compared to you guys?
You guys are doing the work.
You guys do all the work. You just sat through this show.
All right. That's enough. Thank you very much, my friend, for listening to Sportsfeld.
Sportsfeld!